On the news tonight, Governor Adeleke visits President Muhammadu Buhari, praises him over electoral law. INEC extends deadline for PVC's collection. Inspector General Police moves to strengthen operational efficiency in the police. Workers in Ghana to earn more. Good evening. Welcome to the major report. Babatunde Bolatito is my name. Governor Ademola Adeleke of Osun State today met with President Muhammadu Buhari at the presidential villa Abuja for the first time since he was inaugurated as the governor of Osun State in November last year. After meeting in the president's office, Governor Adeleke told reporters that he was at the seat of power to greet the president and thank him for signing the electoral act which enabled him to be elected as governor. A statement by presidential spokesperson Femi Adesina said Governor Adeleke, who was elected under the People's Democratic Party (PDP), said the president's action paved the way for free and fair election in the state. He noted how Nigerians and international communities applauded the conduct of the exercise that produced him as governor of Osun State. Recall that in the election, Senator Adeleke unseated the immediate past governor, Adegboyega Oyetola. Governor Adeleke said the visit to the villa will also provide him the opportunity to discuss other issues of federal government assistance to the state with the Chief of Staff to the President, Professor Ibrahim Kaberi. Governor of Osun State, Senator Ademola Adeleke, has assured timid populace that his government will be based on principle of fear of God, fairness to all, and adherence to the rule of law. Senator Adeleke stated this when addressing some ministries and government agencies in the state. Saeed Adeboje now reports.
For several hours, the Deputy Governor, Prince Kola Adewusi, and members of the committee put in place to set the foot of the state on the right path attended to various government agencies and ministries, addressing the headship of the Ministry of Culture and Tourism, led by the Coordinating Director, Mrs. Shola Bumi Akinshola. The Deputy Governor, Prince Kola Adewusi, appreciated the work done by the ministry, but ordered that the Traditional Welfare Board be established in order not to marginalize practitioners of traditional religion. According to him, since the Christian and Muslim welfare boards exist, it is expedient to create the traditional board to cater for the interest of the traditional worshippers.
We have the Christian people board, we have the Muslim. Where are the one for my fathers? But that become the leader in tossing up and down. We won't labor ourselves too much with that. I think it's well noted here that we should look for a way to incorporate into it. It is very, very essential.
Just as he did while addressing the Ministry of Culture and Tourism, the Deputy Governor, while speaking with the leadership of the Bureau of Social Services, led by Mr. Oluwole Ajewole, urged them to ensure that the supervising work assigned to them are done with basis of fairness and not through monetary influences. Prince Adeshanya Olokwade led the leadership of Osun Microcredit Agency. At the briefing, he intimated members of the committee on the activities of the agency, which he said includes awarding loans to individuals, cooperative growth, and small and medium-scale businesses. Responding, the Deputy Governor, Prince Kola Adewusi, appreciated the leadership of the agency for not incurring bad debt since its creation. He assured that the present administration will support the agency in its bid to making life more bearable for an average resident of Osun State. From the office of the Deputy Governor, this is Saeed Adeboje reporting.
The Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) has extended the deadline for collection of permanent voter cards nationwide by 1 week. The electoral umpire at 5th January 22 has ultimatum after the facilities were devolved to the wards and registration areas to ease collection by registrants. National Commissioner and Chairman Information and Voter Education Committee, Festus Okoye, in a statement said the decision was taken at the end of the Commission's regular meeting where the issues and others were deliberated. He said INEC, encouraged by the turnout of registered voters and the surge in number of collected PVC across the Federation, Okoye said in some states, as many as 100,000 PVCs were collected in the last 5 days since the devolution to ward level started. According to him, the Commission is determined to ensure that registered voters have ample opportunity to collect their PVCs ahead of the forthcoming elections. He added that the Commission was investigating allegations of extortion by officials at some of the collection centers and inducement by some unscrupulous voters to circumvent processes to obtain their PVC, saying those found culpable will face disciplinary action and prosecution. Meanwhile, Nigerians have commended the efforts of the Independent National Electoral Commission for the prompt release of voters' register as part of the preparations for the forthcoming 2023 general elections in Nigeria. Those who spoke with Osbc News in separate interviews stated this while reacting to the release of voters' register to all political parties by INEC. Our reporter, Oluwatobiloba Odunuga, now reports.
Political parties have reacted to the release of voter register by the Independent National Electoral Commission to all political parties in Nigeria, which many commended as the right step in the right order for the forthcoming general election slated for 25th of next month. Recall that the presentation of voter register was made by the INEC chairman, Mahmoud Yakub, to the leadership of different political parties at the commission headquarters in Abuja, where he pledged the commission's preparedness towards the conduct of a free, fair and credible election in the country come 25th of next month. Speaking with Osbc News in separate interviews on this development, political party stalwarts including Osun State Head of Media and Publicity of the People's Democratic Party, Mr. Oladele Bamiji, and the Osun State Secretary of the All Progressive Congress, Mr. Kamaldeen Alawo, among others, maintained that the voters' register released by the electoral umpire showed that the people are well informed on how to discharge their civic rights as Nigerians. They added that the release of the voters' register by INEC shows the Commission's preparedness for the coming general election.
The figure rolled out by INEC suggests that people are now more inclined politically. People are now more aware. In all the zones of the Federation, we can see an appreciable increment in the number of registered voters. So people are now more aware, taking charge of their own destiny as far as Nigerian situations is concerned. So the coming election will be an election like no other. It shows that we'll see appreciable increase in the turnout of voters. We'll see appreciable number of margin of win, the probable scores by candidates of various political parties.
That release, if you read through thoroughly, you will see that they even give us the number of female registrants, and then the potential male voters, and then the northern part of Nigeria or the southern part of the regions. The potential voters number were released by the INEC. So it shows that, as we used to say, the northern part of the country has a large number of potential voters in comparison with what is obtainable from the south. So, but notwithstanding, my advice is to our people from the south, especially in this state, to go out and collect the remaining PVCs at the office of INEC from both the local or the state secretariat. That's when we give them the opportunity of going out on the day of election to vote for their choice.
They enjoin eligible voters who have registered for their permanent voters card to go to the nearest INEC office to get their voters card, noting that their PVCs remain the only passkey to choosing the leaders of their choice in the forthcoming 2023 general elections. Oluwatobiloba Odunuga, Osbc News.
The clerk to the 9th National Assembly has transmitted the new Business Facilitation Bill 2022, also known as OMIAPB, to President Muhammadu Buhari for his assent. Special Advisor to the President on Ease of Doing Business, Presidential Enabling Business Environment Council, Dr. Jumake Oduwole, Yesterday in Abuja, it will be recalled that the executive bill was passed by the House of Representatives in October 2022 and Senate in December 2022. According to Oduwole, the bill aims to codify the executive order on transparency and efficiency in public service delivery. She said it will also amend select business facilitation laws identified as critical to the ease of doing business in Nigeria and institutionalize business climate reform. She added that the bill is designed to strengthen ongoing reforms and consolidate legislative provisions that border on ease of doing business in Nigeria. The Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Abubakar Malami, says President Muhammadu Buhari's renowned anti-corruption posture and policies are brought to the front burner issues of judicial reforms and independence. Malami made the disclosure in Abuja during the 17th edition of President Buhari's administration scorecard series. According to him, adhering to the tenets of the rule of law, deepening democratic governance practices, and strengthening institutional reforms across law enforcement and anti-corruption agencies are part of cardinal policies, but at the core of the agenda of Buhari's administration. He added that the justice sector are driven by different stakeholders who play assigned roles, ranging from enactment of law and interpretation of laws to the implementation or enforcement of laws, with ultimate aim of ensuring access to justice. He noted that an efficient justice delivery system is key to ensuring Nigeria's economic growth and development, as well as ensuring the socio-economic well-being of citizens, noting that investors are often attracted to economies where justice prevails. Federal government has organized a one-day sensitization and capacity building workshop on emotional intelligence for the rank and file to extrajudicial killings and improve service delivery. Minister of Police Affairs, Dr. Mohammed Megari Dingyadi, who opened the event in Yola, Adamawa State, observed that due to the demanding nature of policing, an officer is exposed to threat and anxiety which could be transferred to members of the public, thus resulting in infraction. He acknowledged that the near absence of self-management in some policemen had soiled the image of the force, adding that the Ministry of Police Affairs is working closely with the police management to institutionalize service orientation among officers and men of their police force to deepen citizens' trust, confidence, and increase participation for robust human intelligence. The minister hinted that the workshop will be replicated in the remaining 5 geopolitical zones in the coming days and weeks as part of the ministry's efforts to reform and reorientate the security agents with focus on junior officers, and that they constitute vast majority and interface more with the populace, upon which opinions are formed on the force in general. He ordered that the laudable intervention by President Muhammadu Buhari's administration in policing deserve Nigerian ownership and reciprocity through cooperation with officers and men of the Nigerian Police Force. Following the insecurity that has enveloped some parts of the country ahead of the general elections, the Inspector General of Police, Usman Al-Khali Baba, has commenced a 2-week fully residential refresher training for 79 squadron commanders of the Nigerian Police Force Mobile Force at the Police Mobile Force Training School, Training College, Ilawa, Osun State. IGP said the training program is also geared at strengthening the operational efficiency of the squadron officers and for more effective tactical deployment of their personnel to ensure a secure and equal environment before, during, and after the 2023 general elections. According to the Force Public Relations Officer, CSP Olumiwa Adejobi, some of the focus of the course include the use of contemporary riot control gadgets for suppression of riots and other serious disturbances, crowd control techniques, ambush and counter-ambush, diplomatic protection, combating internal security challenges and insurgency, as well as drone safety and weapons handling. According to the PRO, the IGP recently met with representatives of the United Nations Office of Drugs and Crime and the Bureau of International Narcotics and Law Enforcement Affairs to discuss possible areas of partnership to strengthen the oversight and accountability mechanism of the Nigerian Police Force, including the Compliant Response Unit and the Provost Department of the Force. Residents of Osun State have been admonished to be cautious of the Harmattan season and take all precautionary measures to keep themselves healthy during the period. This was the view of some health workers who spoke with Osbc News on the backdrop of the adverse effects of the Harmattan season. On Matayo Adebodu, now report.
The Harmattan season, which occurs between late November until February or early March, is always characterized by dust, dusty winds, and thick haze. It generally affects the skin in various ways, such as dryness of the skin, chapped lips, and increase in the trigger of asthma, problems with respiratory system, among others. Speaking with Osbc News, Mrs. Nofiu Atinoke, an healthcare worker, stated that Harmattan is characterized by very cold temperature, especially in the morning and night, and comes with very hot weather in the afternoon.
They should just try to keep warm, keep themselves warm. You know, the weather is cold, Harmattan season, then everywhere is dusty. So they should try to keep themselves warm. Then also the dust, they should try to control dust.
In the same vein, Mrs. Asisat Bolanle and Mrs. Adetunji Jelilat stated that the respiratory diseases are the most common this season and can occur also as symptoms of cold. They advise that people should wear thick or layered clothing to keep themselves warm, wear nose masks or use clean handkerchiefs, especially when it is windy.
This communicable disease, this Harmattan period, because we employ the people in Osbc to be using their nose cover always to prevent them to inhale dust.
In this Harmattan season, whenever you want to go out, you should put on your nose mask. Make sure you cover your children with cardigan or sweater. You should not expose their body in order to not cause catarrh or anything, because in this the title of Harmattan, there's many diseases around this area. So we're supposed to take care of ourselves, our children, our husband, and anybody out there.
There is usually a high rate of fire outbreak during Harmattan season. This is as a result of the dry atmosphere. It is important to stay clear and be cautious of fire, but also importantly that we have a fire extinguisher. Montayo Adebodu, Osbc News.
Talking health, as a precautionary measure against the COVID-19 as well as other variants of the virus that may be imported into the country, Nigerians have been advised to take prescribed vaccination, which has been proven to give extra immunity. The Director of Public Health in Osun State, Dr. Akin Bello, gave the advice was speaking with Osbc News on the advent of the COVID-19 variant, adding that the vaccine remains the most important intervention for preventing severe disease, hospitalization, and health and death, contrary to negative opinions flying around in the country about the vaccine. He speaks further.
On so many occasions, I've been telling people that COVID-19 is here to stay. We are not getting, for now, we can't get over it. There is no health centers in the state, public health centers in the states you go to now, primary care centers in the state that you go to now. The vaccines are not available. They are available. They are available. And they are free. Although the virus is not going, but when you contact the virus, the possibility of you dying from disease is greatly reduced. That's where we are now. We don't need to encourage our people. We have to achieve that level that almost everybody is vaccinated. The vaccine is safe. But if we don't recorded any severe adverse effects of vaccine in our states.
Health workers under the aegis of the newly regularized Health Workers and Osun State Primary Healthcare Development Board have organized a free medical outreach for the people of Ede. Chairman Planning Committee of the group, Mr. Adebari, stated that the gesture was aimed at supporting the health initiative of Governor Ademola Adeleke. Oluwatobileba Odruga now reports.
The free medical checkup and distribution of drugs organized by health officers under the aegis of newly regularized health officers in the Osun State Primary Health Care Board at Alhaji Senator Isiaka Adetunji Adeleke Memorial Mosque at the Osun State attracted health workers across the state, the aged, youths, children, and those with health challenges, according to the Chairman Planning Committee of the Free Medical Checkup and Distribution of Drugs Program. Pharmacist Adebayo Adebare said the free medical checkup exercise is put together to support the vision of the Osun State Governor, Senator Ademola Adeleke, in the state health sector, noting that his administration has since inception been prioritizing the elderly and welfare of the citizens in the state. Pharmacist Adebare stated further that the free medical checkup exercise is to crave the indulgence of the governor to be lenient in the review of their appointments in the state primary health care board.
It cut across all cadres, from doctors down to pharmacists to the health technicians and the health attendants. We are here to show support to our governor in our own little way by providing free medical services, free checkups, and free distribution of drugs. And we are here also to appeal to our government to try to be lenient with our appointment.
Also speaking at the free medical checkup exercise, Dr. Adeola Adekeye maintained that the free medical checkup exercise cut across all levels of health-related issues, ranging from checking of one's blood pressure, weight, sugar level, among others. Dr. Adekeye added that the free medical checkup exercise is coupled with distribution of free drugs to the people according to their health conditions.
And we are doing general checkup. We are checking the blood sugar, checking their BMI, and doing general screening for people in their community. And then we are giving them drugs based on their complaints and treatments necessary.
The beneficiaries of the free medical checkup exercise were appreciative to the newly regularized health workers in the Osun State Primary Health Care Board for organizing a free medical checkup at this present time. Oluwa Tobiloba Odunuga, Osbc News.
Now welcome to our sports segment. Let's now go over to Omatayo Adebodu for details of sports news.
West Ham are genuinely interested in signing Lorient striker Terry Murphy and have started negotiations, but there is a gap between Lorient's asking price and what the Premier League club are ready to offer at the moment. West Ham have bolstered their forward department in the summer by signing Gianlucia Scamacca, but it seems David Moyes is still looking to bolster the forward department. Murphy has scored 11 public opinion. Djokovic returned to Australia last week and received a warm welcome when he played in the Adelaide, where he won the ATP 250 event. The warm-up event raised money for charity, with the 15,000 capacity Road Lava Arena selling out in 58 minutes when tickets were released earlier this week. Djokovic going for a record-extending 10th title and record-equaling 22 men's major has been managing a hamstring injury, but said before the exhibition he was feeling good. Omatayo Adebodu, Osbc News.
On the foreign scene, Ghana's government and trade unions have agreed increase in all public service salaries by 30% for this year. They said the country struggles to reduce debt and tackle rampant inflation. Reports say the trade union representing public service employees started negotiating salary rises with the government in November last year. A few months after hardship street protests, they approached the government to seek for help from International Monetary Fund. That ends the major report on Osbc TV. It was edited by Adebari Ejimakinde. Babatunde Bolatito is my name. Thank you for being there. Good night.